Imagine that Manitoba will try to draw to the button on that by the look of that. Uh, that's the second Brent Bishuk. Okay, Bishuk is throwing in now. They're trying to draw it into the top of the button. A freeze would be ideal for them at this point, and he has a great looking shot here. Oh, it's a great looking shot. Quebec could be in a little bit of a trouble here. So as Seguin, I think Quebec are looking at maybe opening it up a bit. They're getting. He is going to play the run back possible. He's asking the second Matthew Seguin. He is playing a run back. And he can't overthrow this because if he does, he will. It'll run straight for him. So any big weight, and he threw that above board, and he's just a little too heavy, and he might have got tight on the broom on him. But now it's wide open. So now we'll see what Manitoba does. Manitoba, I would imagine, he's just going to bump. He's going to raise his own back in. Or he could be playing the guard at this time, and that's calling for his second Brent Bishuk. And he doesn't want to leave Quebec too much here, so.
Tony, I'm back.
I see that.
One of our camera guys misplaced his glasses,
oh,
so I gave him mine.
So
but my wife, before I nowadays we have these little cheater glasses everywhere.
Yes.
Well, I have about 4 or 5 pairs in the house. I have some upstairs, have some downstairs, have some in the kitchen. So before I left, my wife goes, you get your glasses? I'm like, yeah. She goes, you should take an extra pair just in case. Because she was thinking about one breaks or something, right?
Yes.
So thank goodness I did, because Brian's running around, where's my glasses? I don't know where my glasses are. I can't see anything. So I said, take mine. I got an extra pair.
Yeah, I have the same problem at home. Mine there's 10 pairs of glasses all over the house, and she just loves them. And her real ones are downstairs.
Yeah.
So Manitoba was drawn into just to tap their back. Yeah, they're going to make it a little tough here for Quebec. Could be in a little trouble here.
Oh, look at
that. Lying looks at 1 and 2 maybe.
Yeah.
Possible. The one at the back of the forefoot belongs to Quebec.
I think we get some heavy weight coming up here now, Tony.
Yeah, he tried that earlier, but he got a little tight in the broom, and it overcurled on him. Now, if he tries to overthrow this here, it'll do the same thing on him. So he'll open it up here. Yes, he's coming down there. It's a good control. Yeah. That's good control.
Just trying to keep the line.
Yeah, and he's got a good-looking shot here. He's going to open it up a bit. Great shot, and
look at that.
Yes, now Quebec's in the back of they're on the left-hand forefoot, and Manitoba's line 1.
Yeah, the line 1, and their first and third
shot. Yes, first and third. And going back to
and nobody out.
Nobody out in the bottom half. Going back to your volunteers, as you were saying, this beautiful rink here is well lit up, and with their assistance, we were helped them along with their lighting and everything, just with the city and through government grants and that. We're upgrading everything here possible to bring down the cost of the ice shed. So that's one of their main problems, and we're working together as a group, and it'll all work out with them. So
yeah, here's a good shot here.
That beautiful shot.
And rolls in behind. Wow.
Yeah, but there's a nose hit there, possible for a double.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, like Sean's in charge of this area. This goes way back. Sean's mom, her and I were on the executive together, and we opened this building.
Oh, okay.
She was the president, I was the vice president back then. And
back in the day?
Back in the day, and the old curling club, and I'm glad we built this facility. It's multi-use. The city runs it 6 months of the year, and the curling club.
Well, you have your information center. And
yes.
This is just off the King George Highway, just down the road. If we're not sure how you think the the rock will break, it's always going to be the left because the Miramichi is to the left of us here, the mighty Miramichi River,
It is too.
and it's frozen.
Yes.
And that's one of the earliest it's been frozen.
This is the earliest I've ever seen the snow to stay, and some places of the river it is frozen.
Yeah.
But mind you, I still wouldn't walk on it this
No,
time.
no.
No, because
Not yet. We had, just for the folks checking in with Manitoba and Quebec, we had a great summer here this year in the Maritimes. A lot of warm. It was dry, but very fortunate, no forest fires, which I was very surprised at, with the lack of rain that we had this summer. And we had a lovely fall until Thanksgiving, and then I had to go away in business up to Toronto for 4 or 5 days, and I came back to high winds, cold, and rain. And that started like the middle of October, and single digits, and it just sort of left us. And then all of a sudden we got hit with some storms here in November, and usually we get a storm and then it rains and it goes away, right?
Which it did once.
Yeah, but now it seems it's putting its grip on us here, but.
They spoiled us because of that July.
They spoiled us.
It was 90 to 95 degrees.
Mother Nature there.
Yeah.
She just spoiled us. But anyway, we got everyone here safe and sound. They arrived on Saturday. They had some ceremonies and events on Sunday for all the teams. And yesterday they practiced in the morning on the ice again. And then we get going at 3 o'clock yesterday, opening ceremonies last night, and the men's at 7:30. And now we're getting into
the skip
we
rocks
got
here.
4 rounds today, 9 at 12:30. Got to put my glasses on now.
Your good glasses.
4 o'clock and 7:30 tonight. We have 4 draws: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday's going to be dedicated to tiebreakers, and then in the afternoon will be quarterfinals and semis, and then Saturday morning finals for the gold and for the bronze in men's and women's will be at 9 a.m. It was originally going to be at 10, but they moved it up to 9 just to give them a little bit more breathing room for their closing brunch banquet, and for the teams to be able to get away later Saturday afternoon.
Yes, I believe they all fly out on
Yeah.
Sunday and Monday, so I didn't realize that the final was on Saturday, so that's good.
Oh, good. That's what I'm here for, Tony.
Yes, we always
Just
have to
a
have
wealth
that
of
individual-
information.
Exactly what it is, a book of knowledge.
Yeah.
The book of knowledge. So here's this is Quebec's first rock. I believe he's just going to try to draw into the top of the forefoot. It'll force Manitoba's hand.
Manitoba's won, and Quebec is sitting second currently.
And if he can squeeze one in there
Yeah.
on top of that, on the
There's
button
room.
there, there's
Yeah.
room there. He could have Manitoba in
Just
a
a
little bit
nice,
of trouble.
just a nice little tap back, and just a. Here's that touch game, right?
Yeah,
It's so delicate. It's like a putt. It was a delicate. It's a little downhill. It's going to break a little right to your left, but don't be too heavy with it, because if you miss it, it goes from birdie to bogey.
Yes, sir. Now here's where it goes. It's
Yeah.
starting to break now. Just after the hog line, he's by that.
Good
He's got a
sweeping.
good-looking shot.
Oh, lovely shot there by Martin.
And now Quebec is line 1 and 2.
Yeah,
and
lovely
then
shot. Great touch.
The double is there, possibly, as long as he does not overthrow it, because it'll run straight if he does. So
We don't need negative vibes here, Tony.
well,
Tony, we don't need
that. Can happen, and you know how curling is a very funny game. You give and you take it, curling, big time. So it's like golf. You have that one shot.
Some of the other sponsors that have been very supported at this Travelers Championship is Tim Hortons, Subway, Curling New Brunswick, and Pizza Delight, because I smelt their pizzas last night that they draw in, but there were signs up there for curlers only. So just tease us, Tony. Do you have any drag whatsoever here?
None. I'm like you. The only person we know with any drag is Sean, and he avoids us a lot. I noticed that.
He delegates stuff to do for us.
Yes.
Yeah, but really, we talked about the 3 important factors of having events: venue, local champions, and volunteers. But obviously, it can't be done without the sponsor support, and sports tourism is 12 months of the year.
Oh, it always
Right?
is. And, you know,
There's a shot there, cleans out one, rolls a little bit, but really,
it's
Quebec
alone.
is still sitting shot rock.
They are. He gets a nice hit and roll here, and they could be in trouble here, Manitoba.
Yeah.
It is a lone rock sitting around
And
5, 4.
yeah. And it's buried in there pretty.
It is. He's going to have a tough time getting it out.
And because just like even with this group here, I know with younger groups, you always got moms and dads
Yes.
coming, right? But with this older group, but sometimes you have husbands and wives. Sometimes you have parents coming to watch it retired, and hey, we're going to the Mirror-Machine. Never been to the Mirror-Machine before. That'd be a fun trip to go on.
Well,
In mid-November, you've got a month and a half before Christmas. let's come on down. So, what a great influx of dollars into the community here, where you get 28 teams. We have officials coming in. You have Curling Canada officials coming in for the week. You're here over a week, so it's great. We got a timeout.
We got a timeout here.
Quebec timeout for Quebec.
It's early in the game to be having a timeout,
Yeah.
but I guess if there's no early time for a timeout, if you're
No.
undecided what you're going to want to shoot here, so
1 or 2 timeouts they're allowed to have per
Two.
game. They're allowed to have 2. And also, folks, for you tuning in, these games are 8 ends. Okay, not 10. These are only 8 ends. They play 8 ends in their provincial and their club, so they wanted to be consistent at the nationals.
yes, it's correct.
So we will have a break at the end of 4 ends for about 5 minutes, where Tony and I will get a glass of water to soothe our instrument.
Easier on the throat, on
And
the
these
vocal
are-
cords.
Yeah, vocal cords. So we'll have a little short 5-minute break after the 4th end, and we'll go from there. So they're talking over with their coach Morissette,
Yes, down at ice level. I don't
and
know.
just looking at different options here. Where looking to steal one. Is there another option there? Can we protect that? Should we knock out one of theirs? They're little different options there because.
Well, I think
They're counting, but after that, it's a sea of yellow.
yes, I believe Quebec's move here might be their center line guard to take that away from them.
Yeah.
We're going to see here now what he decided, and Patrick Martin getting ready to throw his last rock. So it looks like he is playing a hit. Keith,
Stefan.
and possible double if he hits this just right and stays, and then that would take that draw away from Manitoba. So he's playing a hit and double here, hoping to stay.
See what we get. He's on the outside of it. Gets it.
Ooh.
Nice shot.
Nice
Eliminates
shot.
one.
Eliminates one, but he can come down and
Yeah.
looks like there might be a big raise out in front here.
Yeah.
With the
He can come around that, knock that out, and be sitting. He could be sitting 4.
yes,
4.
he's looking at the triple raise there, and it is lined up just off center for him, just a bit. So he is looking at it. It's a gamble. That's
Yeah.
what you do. He could end up only giving up 1. That's possible. Or he could end up picking up 4. Funny thing about that, the game.
Now,
So,
Manitoba's next game. Let's take a look on the big schedule. See, they're going to be playing later on this afternoon against the Yukon, and that'd be at 4:00, and that'd be on sheet 4. So Manitoba plays at 4, and I imagine Quebec must be.
Quebec, the ladies. I see the ladies are on.
Yeah,
at
the
4.
Quebec men's are on at 4 too. They're playing Nova Scotia on sheet 6. So for you Quebec fans, the boys are back on the ice 4:00 against Nova Scotia, and same as Manitoba. And Manitoba is playing the Yukon, 4 p.m. Atlantic time. Well, here we are. Decision has been rendered.
So they are playing the triple raise.
Gets it.
Great shot. And how many
Yeah.
did we pick up? He picked up
Well,
1,
he's
2
counting,
for
he's
sure.
counting 3. No,
Two.
two.
Picked up two. It was a great shot to pick up two, and it's a big
I think
deuce
two,
here.
because that red's there.
Exactly for the first two ends that were blank. So
Yeah.
Manitoba jumps up into the lead of 2-zip. So on sheet A, Saskatchewan and Alberta, I see Alberta's up 2-0 after two ends, I believe, after three ends. After three ends, Alberta is up on Saskatchewan 2-0. Our feature game, Manitoba, is up 2-0 on Quebec. On sheet B, on sheet C, we have the Northwest Territories and BC tied up at 2-2. Between Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia on sheet D.
The
It's
Battle of the Maritimes right there.
It is too. The
Yeah.
Blue Nosers against the Islanders.
Yeah.
And the PEI are up 3-1 on this one. So, and we'll move along to the other scores there.
Yeah, Yukon is having its way with Nunavik 7-0 after three ends, a big steal of four in the third. And
it's Nunavik and Ontario, I believe.
Northern Ontario.
Northern Ontario, yes.
And I think it's 4-0 for Ontario, Northern
Ontario.
The girls are making better doors and windows.
The girls, Northern Ontario, lost to Heartbreaker last night. Yes, they did. They are up 4-0.
Yeah.
So we're coming into the fourth end here with the hammer going back to Quebec, or into Quebec. We'll have the hammer for the first time on their first draw.
So a little something I like to reach out to you folks is we have a fundraiser for the Curling Canada Foundation for the love of curling. And what it is, it's to help our teams win on and off the ice this year at the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship. And what this event is in a nutshell, the funds that are raised through the Fund for Love of Curling contest will contribute to youth scholarships, the expansion of Curling 101 Trying Curling on Ice programs, as well as bringing the Egg Farmers Rock and Rings program presented by Curling Canada to schools across the country so that more children can discover the sport we all love. Now, how can you do this, you ask? Well, here how it works. Go on our website, the Curling Canada website, the Travelers, and you click on teams. And once you click on teams, it'll come men's and women's. And for example, if you have the click on the men's teams, all the men's teams will come up. And then underneath, like the Quebec team, you click on support our team. And when you click that on, it'll come to this fundraising contest page. And each team puts a goal, how much money they want to raise. Example, the Quebec men's team page has a goal of $400. And there's actually a gauge to the right to show how much they've raised so far. Currently, the Quebec team has raised $150 of that 400 goal. So if you would like to donate, for all the folks in Quebec, you can hit that. You can make a donation right online, and to join their team. And all money that is raised goes to the For the Love of Curling Foundation. And the little thing for the teams is there's some great prizes to be run. For every $400 that they raise, they get a ballot for some outstanding prizes.
Oh, I see.
So,
okay.
So try to get on that. Go to that site. I've coached men's and women's, and I know the women are much more organized sometimes than the men are. And there's some big numbers that the women's teams have already. Some had like $1,600, $2,000 that they have already raised.
That's a lot.
And which is outstanding. So thank you for your support. So definitely get a chance. Check that. Go on our website and check that out to help support the Curling Canada Foundation.
Yes, and that's quite I didn't know they had that as you were showing me this morning, Keith.
Yep.
That's a great fundraiser.
Now let's just see how Manitoba's doing. Because, I hear like Manitoba is the heart of curling,
They claim,
right?
they claim that, yes.
So let's see how this team Manitoba team is doing. Now look at that. Their goal was to raise 400. They've attained their goal, $400.
Perfect.
So kudos to Manitoba and the supporters. Way to go. So Quebec, the challenge is on. Let's can't be letting Manitoba beat you off the ice. So let's get those donations rolling in.
Yes, Manitoba just
Because it's for the kids. Too. It's for the kids.
Everything. Yeah. The curling. That's. And
we love our sport of curling. Like Tony, you've been in it for 40 years.
Yes.
Made many great friendships and great stories to tell. And we would like to have the next generation to have that same. It shows sportsmanship, working together, how to handle success and failure. A lot of life skills in the sport of curling.
Yes, there is a lot of life skills in it. There's ups and downs, but everyone at the end of the game shakes hands. And they come up and they
have
go
a
to
juice,
the club
have a juice,
have
together.
A pop, yes, and they laugh about, and some of them laugh, some of them cry.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a very heartbreaking game.
Yeah,
as you know, Keith. I don't know, have you played the sport?
Yeah.
I assume you have. So
I was playing in the day it had corn brooms.
So was I, Keith. But don't tell me your age.
I blisters on my hands from blow. I used to tell him he's telling you to throw takeout, and then afterwards the skip goes, "Why did he throw takeout?" I said, "Well, I don't know."
Yes.
Basically, I couldn't sweep anymore. That was hard because you want to make the noise.
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
Boom, that's cool.
You thought it was cool.
Oh, I thought it was cool. Like
Blister City.
Blister City.
So
these delicate volleyball hands of mine.
So anyway, Quebec is
so 2-0 for Manitoba. Quebec Downs has a hammer. It took 3 ends for Manitoba, but they were determined they were going to get their 2 points. They weren't settled for singles, and they finally did it in the 3rd end. So, almost halfway through the game already, Tony.
Yes, and we're coming up into the 4th end. This is the 4th end, and we only have we're now throwing 3rd rock. The rocks are now being thrown by the thirds. Who's over curled on him? He didn't notice that, and it's not too bad. Not too bad.
No, it doesn't. Not a biter there, so that's good.
Only one in there. Very strategic game this one's going to be. Once again, the teams are all, the ladies and the men's are all on the ice surface together. And we have some tight games going on in each sheet.
Okay, here's our trivia question of the morning. Ready for this one, Tony?
Well, let's try it.
We'll let the folks at home think about this. No Googling. No Googling. So, obviously, we're in New Brunswick. National Championship, so we have to have some trivia on New Brunswick. What was Canada's first World Championship? We'll let you think about that one, folks. What was Now, first of all, you're trying to think what sport it could be in. So, what was Canada's first World Championship? And we'll let you think about that, and I'll give the answer after the break. We come back. Tony's thinking about that. He likes that. It's a good one. Let's get you thinking about that, but don't be clicking Google. Just let's rack our brains out a little bit, folks. Here.
Yes, because our local radio station has you are the smart one for the day. So this is really a tough question. I have one that I think might be the answer, but I'm not sure on that.
No, you save it for the
I'm going to save it.
But Tony, remind me I have a good memory, but sometimes it's really short.
Yes.
But that's what my wife tells me.
Story
you have a
life.
Good memory, but it's just like really short. I went, yes, good intentions.
Good intentions, and that seems to be part of my life, the shortness.
The short. Well, you're a city councilor, so that goes with the job.
I meant with the height. Yes, so that's the trivia question. What Canada's
first World Championship?
And we're not saying what sport.
Nope, not telling you that.
Are you going to be ready for the
Mr.
Know-It-All?
That's half the fun right there.
That'll be the Mr. Know-It-All question.
Yeah. The Cliff Clavens of
the Cliff Clavens.
This will help you get you prepared if you ever want to go on Jeopardy.
with another great Canadian, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Nice. Get rid of that. And Manitoba
Yes.
is putting the hammer down here, putting a lot of pressure on. And, of course, the book says, Tony, when you don't have the hammer, hold the other team to one.
Oh, yes.
And, boy, Manitoba is definitely doing that in this end.
They're right now, Quebec's in a little bit of a trouble here.
And it's interesting how, like, one little mishit or whatnot, and all of a sudden, the walls start crumbling.
Well, it looks that, and so he's going to try and hit here, get an inside roll. Our skip, Patrick Martin, in Quebec, I would say Martin. So anyway, he's got a tough shot here to hit and roll, so he won't be able to take it away from Manitoba. So did you look up the answer?
Oh, no, I know the answer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is one of your questions.
Yes.
Hello.
the McFly.
Yes, sir. George McFly. He could have a good-looking shot here.
They're letting it go here. They want to get a little roll inside. Doesn't get the roll, got the rock, but it's sitting exposed.
Now, Andrew Wickman will attempt to...
his last stone of this end. And the Manitoba's played a strong end here.
Yes, they played a very good defensive end. He could have Quebec here a little trouble if he gets that hit and roll.
As they say, good defense is a good offense.
I don't know. Yeah, it rolls well the same with curling, I guess. So
there wasn't a lot of defense in that football game last night, Tony. 54-51.
I was watching it a bit, and I said, "Well, I have to get up too early today." So I shut the TV off, and I couldn't believe the score when I turned on the sports news this morning. So,
and Casey did have the ball last, but couldn't make it happen. Ran out of time. So here is Manitoba's last shot. They want to eliminate that Quebec stone.
And he's going to get a little bit of a roll.
Yeah. Let's get on the
rolling out.
Yeah.
He is going to the outside now.
He's going to stay on.
So these guys, Quebec has to. He'll have to play a hit here.
We might. Does he looking to draw in? Or
well, he's
looking, and you know what? I mean, Manitoba could maybe steal one.
He doesn't have much of a draw. He can't throw the in-turn.
No.
He has to get a piece of the forefoot. So.
On a straight.
He's looking at it.
The only thing is, you throw some weight, and if you're a little off, you give them two.
He is playing the draw.
Yeah.
That's a tough call.
And we'll see how the nerves are. This is one of these 4-foot putts that all of a sudden look 8 feet when you're over it.
And you don't want to get a hiccup.
You want to get a hiccup. So here we are, the last shot, fourth end. Quebec is staring at 3 Manitoba stones.
Anyway,
Manitoba's up 2-0.
He needs a full forefoot, I believe, Keith.
Yeah.
See how much this curls.
Yeah. The shot is away. The sweepers are on it.
He might be trying to hit
hold the line. Working hard.
It's not curling enough.
No. It's light.
He is a little bit light, Jess. He will give up.
Now it just
get
no.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Right
look at that.
Beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
And I guess that's why we're up here and
that's
down there.
Well, and you know, if I threw a stone like that, it would stop halfway down. Okay? And that's the amazing thing with these curlers is they have this soft, gentle release, and it just keeps going and going.
It was a great shot.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot there. Under pressure like that, looking at 3. Yes. So he gets his 1. We're going to take a short break. Tony, it's under his contract that we have to give him a 5-minute break here after
whether
the 4th.
Whether
he wants it or not. So we'll be back shortly, folks, for more exciting action here from the 2018 Travelers in Miramichi, New Brunswick.
Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot. We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own fouls. When we win, we celebrate with modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another, one team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport. Club, team, house, lead, rock. These are the words of our sport, words we embody, powerful words, words that speak to everything we represent: respect, togetherness, strength. Our games begin with a handshake and a kind word. We congratulate our opponents when they make a good shot. We remain silent when they falter. We even call our own fouls. When we win, we celebrate with modesty, with humility. We own our mistakes. When defeated, we concede without shame. Win or lose, we hug with abandon, because we genuinely care about our fellow athletes. Curling doesn't discriminate. The ice doesn't judge. It adapts. It accepts. Curling isn't a book to be judged by its cover. On these sheets, everyone is on the same page. It's what's on the inside that counts. The path to victory isn't always smooth. We use friction as an advantage and adversity as an opportunity. The battle is within ourselves, to improve, to advance. We dream big. We play with heart. We focus on these circles and imagine podiums in far-off places. Curling is what the world needs right now. Connection to one another, one team, one community. Curling is more than a sport. It's a lifestyle, a philosophy, a movement, a belief in self, in kindness, in good health, and in good fun. Supported by a passionate community steeped in tradition and united in pride. In a game of inches, every move counts. Are you ready to make yours? The support of the curling community makes it possible for thousands of kids across Canada to follow their dreams, on and off the ice. Thank you for giving generously. Curling teaches as much about life as it does about sport.
And they came out aggressively in that fourth end. And the last shot for Quebec was looking at 3.
Yes, yes.
Manitoba Stones, and a stellar draw by the Quebec skip, Patrick Martin, and drew it to the 4 to get his single. And that's where we sit at, 2-1. And Manitoba has the hammer again.
Yes, once again, just checking some other scores there, Keith. I see a couple of big end scores there. 8-0 Northern Ontario over Nunavik, and then I see the Yukon Territories over Nunavik 11-0. So this could be an early morning for a couple of those teams.
Well, and we talked about this. I was down and I played university sports and whatnot, and we were in Moncton last week, and the Monctonian is a big hockey event that they run every year, Bantam and Major AAA, 56 teams. And I had opportunity to talk to the coaches because you get these kids playing in the morning and playing in the afternoon and playing at night. And I said, how do you, as a coach, prepare your teams to be playing at different times of day? Because I know myself, I always used to practice after school. Yeah. We always played our games after school in the evening. I can remember playing in a tournament. For my first time I played in a high school basketball tournament, and we played at 11 o'clock in the morning. And my shot wasn't on, and I wasn't like, and I never knew. I was too young to understand the mechanics of playing morning games because I've never done that, right? And the feel, well, you like golfing. If you're used to playing golf all the time in the afternoon, all of a sudden the boys get together and say, "Let's play 8 o'clock in the morning." Sometimes you can't even feel your club at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Yeah, good luck just hitting the ball off the tee,
yes.
And then trying to putt. Like it's hit and whack.
Yeah,
and so sometimes curling, and this is one of the things we talk about from the curling world, a lot of these guys curl after work.
Exactly. Yes,
right?
Usually after supper time.
After supper. So they've been up all day, the body's all warmed up, and so on and so forth, and let's go. Morning thing, probably 3 hours ago, these folks were in bed.
Oh, yes.
Right? Get up, have breakfast at 8 o'clock, come to the rink, and all of a sudden now we're playing. Now, I'm not saying that is the reason, but it can be part of sometimes where you're just not, the reflexes, the timing, the feel is sometimes not there first thing. And a team can take advantage of that.
Well, yes, and exactly what happened right here. He just, it overcurled. Like we say once again, he threw the intern there, but it was a big sweep in it, so that was a miss by Manitoba. Now Quebec will have Manitoba chasing them for a change.
Yeah. And so what the coach did, Jeff Squires was the coach. He coached the PI Central Attack, who ended up winning the Bantam division in overtime. And he says, Keith, what we do to avoid that is we have 2 practices in the morning each week. We have 1 practice in the afternoon, and we have another practice in the evening.
That's a lot of commitment, though.
Right?
I mean,
the major Bantam. But he says we practice four times a week or 3 times a week, but we always have a morning, an afternoon, evening. And he said, so the kids are used to practicing and playing at those times of day.
Yes.
So when we play in tournament play, it's not a biggie.
And you wonder why, though, Keith. And a lot of teams do have their own sports psychologists.
Yep.
That's the big teams we're talking. We're not talking the club teams here,
yep.
but they're the big teams, as in hockey or the higher curlers. They all have their own sports psychologists with them, so to maintain that.
Yeah. And these a lot of these curlers here probably at some time or other might have been played on a junior provincial team, might have played on the Canada Games team, could have played in Briars at one time. Like you said, the eligibility, you have to be out for 4 years, but that's not saying that's not part of their resume at one time or other. So they might have been exposed to, there's 2 parts of an athlete. There's the physical component that we see here, the sweeping, the throwing and whatnot, but another very, very important aspect is the mental aspect of the athlete. and how to come back from adversity, how come from a bad shot or a bad game, and like as they say, park it. Go through it. Say okay, because those situations are going to come up again.
Yes.
Is how we react and come back from those situations. So, and that's the tough mental aspect of a. And like there was a game last night. Let me if I can.
Is that on
That
the
had
sheet here?
that sheet that we had.
The
Just for the
Saskatchewan?
folks that happen, the Saskatchewan, who was a former champion of this, and Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario was sitting up 3 in the last end, and they end up losing 8-7, giving up 4, and they just couldn't make a shot in the last end. So it was a team effort. It wasn't
Yes.
just one person, which is a good thing. It was a team thing. It was shots missed and whatnot. And not only we all know how tough it is to score 3.
Yes.
But to score 4 in the last end and to win it 8-7, that's a hard one. And that's where the mental aspect of the team, to discuss it, talk about it, and then move forward. Because it was only the first game, And they were in it all the way, obviously, and they had an opportunity to win it, and they were unable to. So we'll see how Northern Ontario responds today after a heartbreaking loss
Yes, 'cause
to obviously a very strong team.
Yes.
Like I said, anytime you're a former champion of the Travelers, it's gonna, you're in for a challenge. So here we are here, and there's a good hit and roll over,
rolled over into the front of it.
and it's going to
And,
stay.
there's
But
still gonna be number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
It's as you were saying, you come back and you lose a game like that. As long as you leave it on the ice and you don't carry it over the next day,
That's right.
that
Oh, yeah,
makes an
gotta-
awful difference.
Gotta let it go.
Yes, you do. So we're getting into the skip rocks now. Patrick Martin attempted to hit and stick with it.
And this is his first shot here of the 5th end.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Throwing the intern at it,
Yeah.
so it doesn't look like it might curl very much. I imagine he'd be just throwing normal takeout. By the look of it, and he has. The one sweeper staying with it. Looks like it's going to be a nose hit, and he'll stick there, and it'll be Quebec sitting too.
Yeah. And these teams are playing in Pool A, and the other teams in Pool A are Manitoba, Alberta, Nunavik, Nova Scotia, Yukon, Quebec, and Prince Edward Island. In the men's Pool B is Newfoundland, Labrador, British Columbia, Northern Ontario, Saskatchewan, Ontario, New Brunswick, and Northwest Territories. So that are the 2 pools in the men's side.
Yes, and after the round robin in the men's side and the women's, the top 3 in each division move on, and the one leading the pack will have a bye into the semifinal on Friday, and then the
Quarterfinals?
Quarterfinals is correct, and then they move into the finals on Saturday. If they win. So
Yeah.
it's the top 3 in each division.
So, and the quarterfinals will be at on Friday at 1:30, and at 6:30 will be the semifinals in men's and women's play, and then 9 o'clock Saturday morning will be gold and bronze medal games.
So it's a great week of curling here on the Miramichi, and we encourage everyone to come, if you're listening to this local, and come out and support the curling club, and meet some people from different parts of of Canada here. We're represented by 10 provinces, 3 territories in Northern Ontario also. So
Tony will be available for autographs in between the draws. He'll be downstairs at his booth.
Yes.
So if you'd like to get a picture, an autograph session, Tony will be available at that time. Nice shot there and a roll.
roll just to the outside.
Yeah.
They're playing behind the tee line, which Manitoba is not doesn't seem to be too worried about playing behind the tee line. This is the final rock, so I would imagine he could be trying to blank it. It's going to be a tough blank.
Yeah.
Or take his one and go up 3-1.
He might. He's looking at it. Get it. He just wants to tick that.
think if he gets that nose
Yeah.
hit, he'll. It's coming in for him. No, he's just playing a nose hit. Will give him 1. That's what he has.
Yeah.
Hit nose hit for 1.
Take it. Take his 1 because that keeps him up 2.
Yes, 2 in the 5th end. So 3 ends to go. He's up 3-1.
So you ready for the trivia question?
All right.
Are you a little excited?
Oh, I'm
Little-
telling you, I'm jumping right out of my chair.
Little drum roll here. Tap, tap, da, da, da,
I'm
da.
going to say our first World Championship.
Yeah,
I can
what's
remember. I'm going to say hockey.
Hockey, and that is a traditional answer, but some people say curling. Some even get a little bit more creative, say lacrosse.
Yeah, it could be.
Well-
I'm thinking of the team from out west that went to the World
So
Championship.
here we are. Our first World Championship team was in the sport of rowing.
Rowing, exactly.
In 1867,
St. John.
Canada just became a nation, and 3 fishermen and a lighthouse keeper from St. John, New Brunswick area went to the World Championships in Paris. And they didn't quite look the part of the Cambridge crews from England, and so on and so forth. And they went in the final, and they won a world championship for Canada.
That was the first.
First world championship for Canada was in rowing, 1867. And they were called the Paris crew because of winning that championship in Paris.
1867. the
Yeah.
year Canada was formed.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit of trivia.
little bit of
Chris,
trivia there.
Are you? You're from the St. John area.
Well, I
You
do
would
the
know-
travel trade business, right? You have to look at unique things, right? What's unique about the area?
And as soon as you said rowing, I knew exactly
Yeah,
what it was too.
the Paris
I
crew.
did
One of
read
those
up on
heritage
that.
moments.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and since we're on the mighty Miramichi River here, and but yeah, they had quite a string of championships there. That team, but yeah, they definitely looked a little unorthodox and not like the rowers of the day per se, and but they knew how to put the paddle in the water.
Yes, and their boat back in the day would have been a little
Yeah,
heavier.
a little
A
heavier.
little heavier too.
Yeah.
To skim the top of the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
So yeah, rowing, Canada's first world championship.
I like watching I'm a kayaker too. I like
Yeah, I
kayaking.
kayak,
So,
yeah.
and and to see these people going
Oh,
that fast,
wow.
it's amazing how
And
their
the
skills.
set of shoulders on them. Like, I have a kayak at the camp, have a canoe and a kayak, and and my dog loves, he sits in between my legs, and he knows I have him it was a pup, and I put a leash on him, and he tried to get up, and I said, nope, you want to come with me, you sit. And so I used to wrap the leash around, and he knew if he wanted to stay in the kayak, he had to sit down.
Okay.
And so then the next spring, I figured, well, he forgot by now. Boy, as soon as I put that kayak in the water, he wanted to come with me, and I said, Charlie, you gotta sit down. He come on, think about it. A 10-month-old pup, right? He get in, he didn't move. He just sat there. He looked around for ducks and eagles and stuff. And I kayaked for an hour. And, of course, got out, and he just run around the island after that. But, boy, in the kayak, he sat his little behind down because he knew if he didn't,
He wasn't allowed to come
he
anymore.
wasn't allowed to come anymore. And he just loves to go in the kayak. So, boy, smart little guy. But, yeah.
Well, like you say, you jump on the pups early, and
Yeah.
they train, and the dogs are great
Yeah.
accompanying you, especially on the hunting and the.
Well, he's a bird
Well,
dog, so it doesn't do much good if he was barking at the
No,
the birds
no.
and stuff. There's a nice shot in,
Yes,
and
behind
a little deep.
in behind the tee line,
Yeah.
but I would imagine Quebec will follow that down. We could give you some up-to-date scores here. Saskatchewan ladies and Alberta are tied 2-2, I believe, in the 5th end also. And our game feature, 3-1 Manitoba over Quebec. BC and Northwest Territories, you get to look at their score, is 6-3 in favor of the Northwest Territories over BC.
PEI 5-1 Nova Scotia over Nova Scotia.
And we have a couple of games
Yeah,
there.
Yukon. Yeah, 8-0 Northern Ontario over Nunavik, and 11-1 Yukon. No,
Yes, it is.
yeah, that's in ladies.
Yes.
Northern Ontario 8-0 over Nunavik in ladies, and in men's play, Yukon is up 11-1 over Nunavik. And that game will be over shortly.
Yes.
Now this our end, the 6th end. If Quebec can get there too and tie it up, Hammer goes back to Manitoba in the 7th. That means Quebec could have Hammer coming home in 8th.
Or they could be a blank.
It could be like.
Which normally that's what the team
Okay.
likes to do. If
Okay,
they don't
so-
get their deuce,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, so then you have to force them to take one, right?
That's what-
But isn't that sort of the game plan? The even ends, you want to have the Hammer.
Oh yes, yes it is.
Yeah. Is that what? That's what your book says?
That's
What your book that you're writing.
that's what the normal rule of thumb is.
The normal route.
If there's such a thing.
Yeah.
So, and now Martin's just calling for a takeout. Hit and roll would be nice.
They're on it hard here. They want to get around that, trying to hold that line.
They want to get a little
Yeah.
bit of a roll here.
Yeah,
Looks like
get
they're
it
gonna
inside.
Get a little bit.
Get a hit in behind. Is it too much?
No, just a little.
Look at that. Good
Couldn't hold it.
sweeping.
Great
They just couldn't. Yeah.
They couldn't hold it. So have you done this Travelers before?
I've from a curling. We've done the Scotties Provincials and the Tankard for the men, and I was up in Fredericton, not this past summer before, and we did the Senior Nationals up in at the Willie O'Reed Center.
Oh, okay.
That was a great event.
Yes.
A lot of teams there. Long days there. Holy. But boy, what a great facility. And talking about playing on arena ice compared to the club setting. What they did in Fredericton, Wayne Talon obviously involved with the city up there, outstanding curler himself. Wayne was definitely the champion to bring that event to the Fredericton region. Now what they did, because that championship is like April. So what they did is that sort of hockey was sort of winding down. And, of course, I mean, it's in a rink that's, seats about, what would really, three or 4,000.
Yeah.
So it's a brand new facility, a brand new rink, and they had the boards all, it just looked like a Briar. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. The skirting, the signage, the logos was really so they had their championships, but then they hosted a youth event the next 2 weekends.
Oh,
they had
okay.
different, so those kids had an opportunity to play on championship ice, and again, great tourism.
It
Right?
is.
So you're spending all that money getting things set up. Well, let's leave it set up. And what they did for the club volunteers, because what's the curling club up there? In Fredericton. Come on. We can do this.
Fredericton Curling Club.
Okay, let's go. Boy, that's a unique name.
I'm serious. I believe that's.
Yeah.
It is called that. Capel Warner.
Capel, there we go.
Capel.
There you
Go
go.
through my alphabet.
Yeah. A, B, C, C,
Yes,
Capel.
exactly.
Yeah, Capel City for New Brunswick. Who would have thunk? So anyway, what they did for all the volunteers who helped out, and because we had events at the curling club, is they all had a chance to play on the ice too.
Okay.
Right, because their season was winding down, and they played. So it was a nice little give back because some people never played on arena ice in a setting like that. Here comes a shot by Manitoba. Got a hit and a little roll, and Manitoba is sitting 3 again.
Yes.
Making it hard, and this is what happened when Quebec had the hammer last time.
Yes.
They were in a similar situation and that was the end of the 4th, where Quebec had to make a nice draw just to get their one.
Yeah, and this last rock that the third threw, he just wrecked on the guard just by a hair, and he would have made the shot. So now it's wide open for a draw once again if he gets by the guard.
He's
It looks like
curling now, hard.
It's breaking hard.
Yeah, hard. Look at that.
They're missing that
Yeah.
that little thing that just enough to get by. So whether he was tight to the room or not, but it's a tough shot. They're still into it.
Yeah, and the the uh, the third realized that about halfway down that she was breaking. Like they're showing it now, and try to get the sweepers on it, but just that half a second sometimes is the difference, right?
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of the curl, like that you're saying, I had a chance to go to the World Curling this year in Vegas,
Okay.
and what a show they put, and that's what they're there. They do the PR. They know how to put a show on. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So it was quite an experience actually to go and watch the curling with Mr. Gouchy representing Canada.
Yeah. But I thought that was a nice give back to the volunteers to be able to play on that sheet, and then leave it set up and say, okay, listen, if we're having this event, let's have a couple others and take advantage of having this set up. And it just happened to work out. It was a good time of year to do that, and I think they had like there was, I don't know, a high school or provincial one, and then it was like a maritime. There's teams coming out from Nova Scotia and PEI that competed the next weekend. So it was a win-win, a great win for the tourism in the city, but a great win for curling too.
Well, when you get to bring other teams in, everybody's a winner when you bring in stuff and they stay and they keep using it.
Yeah.
So, and it's great for all the teams, the local teams especially, and because they're getting top quality ice, like you say, they've never played on the arena ice before, so it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And they say this here is just similar to arena ice. I mean,
Yep.
just as fast and everything, but more sheets of ice. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how they say you must have 6 sheets of ice here to host these Travelers, the Travelers Canadian Championship.
Yeah.
I guess that was one of our qualifications.
Well, it just makes for the time frame. It works. But all the teams get in. They have it down to a science, right? Because
Yes.
with that one extra sheet, all the games that you can get in, right? There's a nice shot.
Yeah, he got just a little wide on the broom.
Yeah.
He is in trouble right now,
Yeah.
Quebec. Looking over now, they're trying to figure out here a hit and stick, nose hit. Try to get a bit of a roll.
Yeah. And if you folks just tuning in, wherever you might be at work, checking on how your friends or family members are making out, or maybe you're in warmer climates. If you are, God love you. We're thinking about you because it's winter here. They play again this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Both teams. Quebec will be playing Nova Scotia on sheet 6. And Manitoba will be taking on Yukon on sheet 4. So that's their next action for these two teams. There's a shot right on, out. And look at what Mr. Martin is looking at.
Yes, he is in a bit of trouble here. If he can get just a nose hit, just a bit of a roll here, he could get himself out of this and still pick up his 2. So.
Well, I don't think 2's there.
Oh, it could very well could be.
Well,
it depends on his roll here. So.
Because he's got one up there, but then they've got one.
Yeah, he's got 2 rocks though. Or this is his.
I think this is his last.
Is it? I was looking at the sheet.
Yeah.
Sheet C and seeing the other red rocks.
It's all right, Tony. Yeah.
It is.
Okay, Tony.
Get with the program.
Yeah, get with the Remember how we talk about morning people and evening?
Oh, he's out. Starting to bend.
Yeah,
for him.
but
Is he going to bend enough and knock him off of it? This could be a big upset.
Ooh,
Gosh.
it slipped by. Wow.
And a steal of
1, 2, 3.
As Vic Roberts says, add them up, count them up. 1,
I think
2,
there's 5
3,
there.
4, 5.
Wow.
8-1.
Ouch.
Ouch is right.
And when I was down doing the tankard for the men, no, excuse me, I had Scotty's. I was talking with Judy Blanchard, and Judy from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John. And Judy is a former world senior champion with the Heidi Hanlon team out of Thistle. And Judy's rule of thumb, always have my sweepers involved. She goes, they can make my rock go 4, 6, 8 feet, sometimes further. But they can't do a bloody thing to slow her down.
No,
right? That's
no,
Judy, right?
Unless they burn it.
Yeah, unless they burn it, right? And Judy was that, and I go, gee, that's a good point, Judy. She goes, no, I always want my sweepers involved when I'm throwing my rock because they can help it along, but they can't do anything to slow it up. And I go, I always remember that, and whenever I see a rock going and I don't see the sweepers on it at all, I think of Judy's rule.
Rule of thumb.
Oh, that's not good. They're not laying a. I mean, sometimes people just throw a perfect shot with, hey, I don't need your help. Just I'm throwing it in there. But that one, and like the fourth end, he made a beautiful shot. But that is a lot of pressure to put on when you're looking at potential of 5, right? And sometimes it's that little extra weight that you.
Exactly. When he released it, he knew, and it never curled for him.
No,
so
and that's what happens with that. Just that little.
Yeah, he expected that to curl over, but he just got a little wide on the broom, and he's kind of using that for backup, and it didn't work out for him at the time. Now the scores, there's some big scores on the ice right now. Yeah. On 3 of the 4 sheets.
Yeah.
I see Alberta's jumped out in front of Saskatchewan now, 4-2 on sheet A for the ladies. 8-3 on sheet C, Northern Territories against BC. PEI over Nova Scotia 5-2. So
and from a strategy standpoint, it was looking like, okay, Quebec gets their one. Yes. Then on the 3-2, now you got to come up with a game plan how to steal a point in the last end to tie it up. But don't have to worry about that now. But it was a good game. Up and down that point, but kudos goes to Manitoba. Every time they never had the hammer, they put a lot of rocks in play, and every time Quebec was always looking at 2 or 3 rocks. They always seemed to be behind when they had the hammer. Every time they had the hammer.
Yeah, their skip, every time he come to throw, he was facing 2 or 3, as you said. And that's hard to do if you're a skip. It gets you down a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
And they played really good when Manitoba had the hammer.
Yes, they did. So
So I think there's a lot of positives that can be taken from that because it's their first game. They didn't play yesterday. Manitoba did, and so learning from that. I mean, as we all know, Manitoba is strong programs.
Well, they say they're the curling capital of the world, but people of Canada anyway. So.
Yeah, and it's always like I know I played university volleyball in the Manitoba Bisons program. Garth Pitchke played on the national team, and he coached the Bisons for a number of years, and they were one of the top volleyball programs in North America. They would go down and beat UCLA, USC, you name it. So we had a chance to play against them, and we took them to 5 games. The University of Nebraska, because in our mind we were playing the best university team in North America. Like they had some guys from the States that would come up to play for Manitoba. That's how good the program was. I was talking in the training room with one of the setters, and I go, "Where are you from?" He goes, "I'm from Minnesota." I said, "What are you doing up Manitoba?" He says, "Best volleyball program in North America." And I go, "So we talking?" He says, "Yeah, we were just out to California, beat USC, UCLA, Stanford, and California volleyball. That's a mecca in the States, right? Penn State strong, Ohio State strong, but still the California teams." And he goes, "Yeah, we beat all them." That was back in the 80s and stuff, right? But it's the same thing in curling. Anytime you play against a Manitoba team, like, okay, you better bring your A game.
Yeah, they're noted as onto the ice too. There's some great teams out of there too. So on the curling side of it.
Yeah, and then talking on Quebec on the university football now. Yeah,
Yes, Laval.
Laval, very strong, and Montreal, University of Montreal, is coming on in the last number of years with a great program, and Laval is going back to the Vanier Cup this weekend. And they've just done a wonderful job there with their football programs at the minor level. You don't get success at the university level without having great minor systems. And they've done that in Laval Province.
Yes, well, the Miramichi started their football program back up again on both high schools, and it seems to be working out. And they've got a little minor league.
Well, that's where it starts at.
And it starts with the young ones,
And that's a good segue, Tony, as we talked earlier with the Curling Canada Foundation for the Love of Curling. You can go on the website, click on your teams, and you can make a donation that goes directly to fund youth curling programs across our country to help promote curling and to create that awareness for the kids at a young level. So for further information, check out the Curling Canada Travelers website. And like I said, all you have to do is click on teams. A page will come up with your team. And then you click underneath it, it says support your team, and it goes right to the fundraiser website, and where you can make a donation right online, and that money goes directly to the Curling Canada Youth Foundation.
And that supports all of Canada, not only the teams that are here, but all of Canada.
That money goes directly to the youth, and what the teams get out of it, for every $400 that is raised, they'll get a ballot for some outstanding prizes that Curl Canada will donate. So it's a win-win.
Yes, and get up, go online and support this, and like he says, go to Curl Canada on the Travelers, and then you can go right from there. You can find out everything that's going on in this week with Curl Canada. Coming up, we're back on the ice again at 12:30 for Draw 4. Our feature game will have New Brunswick versus Ontario in the ladies division, and on sheet B, and Northern Ontario and BC in the men's on sheet A, and Newfoundland and New Brunswick on sheet C in the men's division.
Yep. And for all you keen curlers, there's a lot of big the season of champions, as we would say. 2018, December 5th to 9th in Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan has the 2018 Home Hardware Canada Cup. And then we're into January, and the Canadian Juniors will be in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. That's January 19th to 27th. And then January 17th to 20th is the World Financial Group Continental Cup, and that's down in Las Vegas.
At the Orleans Arena.
At the Orleans Arena, yeah. And so that's the World Financial Group Continental Cup. The Scotties, we have it here in the Maritimes. Tournament of Hearts, February 16th to 24th, Sydney, Nova Scotia. So that's February 16th to 24th. The Men's World Curling Championship, that will be in Lethbridge, Alberta, March 30th to April 7th. The World Men's Curling Championship in Lethbridge. And then the granddaddy, Tim Hortons Brier, March 2nd to 10th in Brandon, Manitoba. So for all you Manitoba fans out there, hope you got your tickets. I know I was talking to some people here last night. Who was it? Was it Doty?
Yes,
no, Doty. Doty's got his... No, Joe.
Joe Hawks.
Joe Hawks. He's got his tickets for Brandon.
Oh,
so he's going out there for sure. So that's March 2nd to 10th is the Tim Hortons Brier and Brandon, Manitoba. So that will be, without question, we know a great event in a great province.
It's and the World Men's is back in Canada again.
Yeah.
Because I think they made it a rule that every second year that the World Championship will be held in Canada because of the crowds that they do receive.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's, I was out to Lethbridge for my volleyball for Canada Games. I was in Lethbridge, Alberta when I played. just outside of Calgary, southwest of Calgary, I believe.
How did your team make out?
Well, we lost Ontario in the final game of the round robin, and so we ended up coming fifth. And we figured we were that close to the top teams in the country, so we stuck together. And the junior nationals were in Quebec that spring, so we stuck around, practiced on the weekends when we could because we had some university players and high school players, and we came second in the country.
Oh, that's
So, and from that team, we had some guys that went on to the national program and junior national, senior national. But that was a unique group of players at the time. Because you're young, you don't realize it. But it's a big deal for Canada, for New Brunswick to get to the national championship. And that was back in the day where only the top teams went. Nowadays, it's like an open, and they have different divisions and everything else. But back in the day, it was like the top team from each province went, and then the host province could take two. And there it is. It's all over.
Hands.
Yeah, shaking the hands. They were just playing it out just to get some extra practice in, throwing some rocks. Well, really, I mean, for Quebec, say, no, let's keep playing here, and let's get some throws in here because we got to play later on today.
Yes, Quebec are back up,
Yeah.
as Keith said once again. Just go on and Curl Canada and over to Travelers, and you'll get all the results and the schedule. Everything is there. So.
Yeah, so these teams are back on the ice at 4 o'clock today, and we're going to have more great coverage here. We got a little bit of a break. We have some lunch there.
Yeah, I believe we are completed also. I don't know if we're still streaming here or not. Are we,
Yeah.
Keith?
Well, we are, but we'll say our goodbyes and we'll come back later on. So, listen, we thank you so much for tuning in to our broadcast from the 2018 Travelers Curling Club Championship in Miramichi, New Brunswick at the Miramichi Curling Club. This is Keith Rains and Tony Walsh signing off for now. Did you think you'd get rid of us that quick, folks?
Yeah, come on.
We're back.
We're back, and we're on sheet A.
And this is women's action. And we have Alberta taking on Saskatchewan. Tony is getting out his information.
Yes, Team Saskatchewan is led by Skip Elaine. Go ahead with that name.
Elaine.
Elaine Osmashenko. We'll go with that. Her third is Candace Newkirk. Her second is Militia Johnstone. And her lead is Sherry Logan.
And this is Saskatchewan's first game. Alberta played yesterday, defeating Quebec 6-3. And
there's Team Alberta there. Keith, we have a Skip Morgan Muse. Third is Lindsay Allen. Second is Sarah Evans, and lead is Sarah Gartner.
And Alberta's up 4-2, and Saskatchewan has the hammer. And they're looking at a lot of yellow Alberta stones.
She's playing the nose hit.
Well, it was interesting last night. We couldn't see the overhead monitor as we were over the ice, and they were sweeping a rock in, and we're going, what are they doing? Like, they're missing. And unbeknownst to us, because the skip was covering a rock right on the button, and we go, oh, now we see.
Now
we see it.
Ooh,
this shot, oh, what a nice shot. Got it through that little.
And she cut them back to one. That could be a steal of one. Yes,
yeah,
it will be a steal of one. She cut them back. That was a great shot. So
because she was
one for Alberta.
Alberta will go up 5-2 here.
And we're in the going into the seventh end. No, the sixth. That was the sixth. Was it, Keith?
I think so.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and so we are now going into the seventh end with Alberta up on Saskatchewan 5-2. PEI Nova Scotia on sheet D on the men's side are up. PEI over Nova Scotia up 6-2. As you were saying, the championship ladies coming to Sydney. They're coming to Sydney, which is represented out of Nova Scotia now,
Yeah.
out of the Sydney Curling Club. Did you, Keith, have the results of the ladies? You were saying Saskatchewan and Alberta, what their standings? Did you notice?
This is Saskatchewan's first game.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Alberta played yesterday afternoon, defeating Quebec 6-3.
Okay, so it's a battle of unbeaten teams, actually, then?
Yes. We're unbeaten.
We're unbeaten.
Well, how many games? Well, we haven't played any.
Bye.
Yeah. We haven't lost any. Yeah.
No, there's 2 teams get a bye each round. Says we do have 28 teams, 14 men's and 14 ladies. And you won't see the. I don't know if the monitor is working. We do have the camera on it, but.
Yeah. No, you can't. No.
No. Okay.
You have to look at that one.
Ah,
there you go.
I thought he might have had it on for that one there. So, on our left, that's right, the 6 sheets of ice. And by the way, we're supposed to get some new snow today.
Yeah, good. So if you Alberta fans or Saskatchewan fans are tuning into the broadcast, because the bonus coverage brought to you by Pizza Light and Subway.
And this is early out west there, by the way. It's 10 to 11 here, so it's only 10 to 8
yeah.
there. So.
I'm Keith Rains, Tony Walsh. We were just doing the Quebec Manitoba men's game that finished. Finished. They did play 8 ends, but that last end went rather quickly. They were just sort of practice stones, and so we thought we'd give you a little bonus coverage here, and on this game here, as Alberta's up 5-2 now. Saskatchewan does have the hammer still, but steal a 1 in that 6th end for Alberta. And we're also doing the Curling Foundation, the Curling Canada Foundation for the Love of Curling. If you'd like to make a donation to youth programs that go across the country, you can go on the website, the Travelers Championship website, and click on Teams. And once you click on Teams, you go down men's or women's, and like you say, for the Alberta or Saskatchewan, you click on the women's side. Underneath your team, it will say help support your team, and that will take you to the fundraising side, and each team has set a goal for themselves, and all that money that is raised will go to youth programs across the country. And let's just see how our women are doing with fundraising. And teams, I'm going on the website, so I'm clicking the ladies teams. And since Alberta has the lead here, we'll click on Alberta to see how they're doing once the Wi-Fi lets me on. There's Team Alberta right there. Team Alberta. Let's see what they said, because the team set goals for themselves. Because every $400 that's raised, they get a ballot to go in. And Team Alberta ladies haven't done very well here so far. They have a goal of $400, and they have nothing in the account yet. So Alberta, little challenge goes out there. Come on, there's that's a big.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, we got to check Saskatchewan, see how they're doing.
Yeah, maybe we can give Alberta a little dig.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now we'll go to Saskatchewan and see how those ladies are doing. There's Team Saskatchewan. and see how their donor page is looking.
And Nova Scotia and PEI men's have finished up with the winner of PEI over Nova Scotia by a score of 7-2.
Saskatchewan women has set a goal of $4,000.
Holy jumpins.
I mean, that's their goal set.
Not 400,
No,
4,000.
1,000. And they got a ways to go because all I'm seeing here is $65 has been raised. So they got $65. That's a good thing.
Yes.
But their goal is $4,000. Now there's some teams have already raised $1,200. I've seen others $1,600. They have because, like I said, every time they raise $400, the team will get a ballot for some great prizes that Curling Canada has put together and offer the teams to, motivate their.
You have to support these teams. I mean, the money's all going to Curl Canada, which helps fund the other programs that are going throughout all of Canada, of course. So once again, Keith, maybe explain that.
The funds raised to the for the Love of Curling fundraising contest will contribute to youth scholarships, the expansion of Curling 101 tri-curling on ice programs, as well as bringing the Egg Farmers Rocks and Rings program presented by Curling Canada to schools across the country so that more children can discover the sport that we all love.
And Saskatchewan now trying to draw in around the corner guard, but come up a little light on it. So Saskatchewan has the hammer over with Alberta.
And they even show the people who've contributed. Nice.
Yes, and I would imagine that the money that is contributed would be tax saving for individuals.
Well, let's see.
That is a big commitment, 4,000. So that whoever's out there watching this here, streaming a little early for streaming, maybe in Saskatchewan and Alberta, but anyway, get on there and make a pledge to them.
Yeah, I just want to say Manitoba women, now they have a realistic goal of 400, but they've raised $450.
Well, there you go. Every team is trying. So
yeah.
Support your hometown team and get up and make a pledge on it. Once again, Saskatchewan can't get around that corner guard, and they come up a little light. Alberta will now try to go around the center line guard. We only have one other game on sheet C, and that's Northwest Territories against British Columbia, with the Northwest Territories up 8-4 in the 7th end.
And Team Saskatchewan will be back on the ice again today at 4 p.m. They'll be on a featured sheet, sheet 5, as they play BC. So Saskatchewan ladies will be back on the ice at 4, playing British Columbia. And Alberta will be back on the ice at 4 p.m. on sheet 3 against Northern Ontario. So 4 p.m., Northern Ontario takes on Alberta. Shot getting in there, coming in behind. Tony's looking at where he's going to be at later on.
Yes, I thought we usually have our council meetings on Tuesday evening at 6. So I'm doing 2 draws as it was, but our council meeting got canceled till tomorrow.
I think your counselor should all be here.
Yes. I have to agree with him. We could host it maybe in the office here, do our meeting in the main office down here, and watch the curling on the live side. But so I'll be back on the ice again tomorrow after the 12:30 draw, of course, and I'll be down early because instead of Tuesday night's meeting, we have it on Wednesday evening. So And Saskatchewan are facing. You got to get one in around that center line guard. There's two center line guards there, so.
Good to have that a left-hander on the team, though.
Yes, it is. That's her out turn. So actually, lefty would be her in turn.
Yeah.
Actually, so.
And everything breaks towards the river.
Falling.
We're falling toward. Look into the left because of the Miramichi is down to the left. Nice shot.
Yeah,
back of four.
Back of the 4 foot.
Yeah.
And that should come around nicely for Team Alberta. As she prepares to throw her last rock. Because if she comes to the face of that one, it'll be a hard rock to try to remove for Team Saskatchewan.
Northwest Territories knocked off British Columbia 8-7. No, they're still. Oh, excuse me, they're still going.
Yeah.
I thought they were just practicing them. No, they're still playing.
They're coming home in the 8th end.
Yeah.
But the Territories up 8-7 over BC, and the Territories have the hammer. They stole 3 on the Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
Here's a big shot here coming for Alberta. She has the weight and the line. It's not curling, staying out.
Starting to come in now a bit.
Starting to come in. And it's touch and go. I'm not sure. Just the overhead camera, the TV. I'm not sure which one is the shot rock. But that's a hit there for Saskatchewan to get her 2 back. And make it 5-4 coming home in the 8th end. I think she throws a hack at this. This should come for her. Territories have 1 rock in on sheet C as they're up 8-7.
Got enough time? Yeah, they want a timeout.
They want a timeout. We got
That's
a timeout
good.
In sheet A, Saskatchewan.
This time, great time to shout out to our sponsors that make this event happen. Town Auto Group. And Town Auto Group sort of has the cornerstones on the car business here in the Miramichi area. They have Ford, Chrysler, and Mazda.
Yes, that's very unusual, actually, you know, and they just opened up 2 new buildings, so he's a great entrepreneur, Hal Summers.
And a great sports supporter.
Yes, he is.
I've heard that already. It's City of Miramichi and the province of New Brunswick, as well as Curl NB, Pizza Delight, Subway, Tim Hortons.
Natural. That's a natural.
That's a natural. Like you can't have a Canadian function that has ice involved in it and not have Tim's involved.
Yeah.
That'd just be wrong.
I mean, and there's also other ones here. The Jet Ice.
Yeah.
Once again, the Jet Ice, Pizza Delight, as you were saying, province of New Brunswick. Kent Building Supplies. I see they got some great circles out there, and all the advertisement on the boards. The curling club actually is. I haven't seen it look any better than for this Canadian Championship here.
So a decision has been rendered.
I'm assuming she's going to be throwing about hack weight at this.
Her last rock.
And this will
trying to get 2.
It's a girl's for it. She should get her 2 and then be back in the game.
Yeah, try to steal one in the final end.
Throw by Elaine Olmashenko, and looks like she might be on the yellow. She has a good-looking shot. Did it get by?
No, it just racked up.
Just racked up. I'm not sure.
So is that a steal 1?
It could be a steal.
Well, they're looking at it. They might have to do a measurement.
I would say that they might measure. It looks like it's red to me in the back of the 4 foot.
a trained eagle eye of yours.
Yes. In my heyday when I used to be a surveyor. Yeah, exactly. So, the overhead camera.
Yeah.
Well, they're calling for a measurement.
Don't haul our cables out. That's good.
I'm going out on a limb and say it's red, but you never know. And it is going to be hard to come back when you don't have the hammer.
Yeah.
You know, you're up 5, could be 6-2 or 5-3. Red it is. So, red will pick up one. Saskatchewan, and they only have 2 minutes here left. So I did notice yesterday that a few of the teams that come right down to the seconds, they had to take a timeout. Also, you know.
You know it's that.
That's our
A
other,
fan club.
our other commentator down on sheet E. Him and Jim Radar Matheson. They had an easy game, 12-0. So.
The big talent has to do the,
the main, yeah. Back to back. I'll be back.
People want to have you on.
So,
Twitter's blowing up, Tony.
yeah, oh yeah,
Twitter,
Twitter, yeah. Get that man off. It's all in fun, and we seen that took a little spill, a little bit more embarrassed than anything.
Yeah,
Actually.
John Stone. She didn't touch the rock though.
No, that's the bottom line, John Stone, and that's Militia. Out of Saskatchewan, a little spill, that's nothing.
So Alberta's up 2 with hammer. So what's the book saying this one?
This one here is, she's playing a little tick shot here to see if she can move that off the center line.
Also, we'll keep an eye on this Northwest Territories and BC match too, which Northwest Territories is up 8-7. But BC stole 3 in the 7th to make it a game. Titan. You know, you think you're up, oh, we're up 8-4. It's all right. BC, and they hold BC to 1. So they're up 8-5. Things are looking good. We got the hammer now. And they give up 3.
Yeah, it comes back to bite you.
It comes back, yeah. You take your foot off the pedal for 1 minute.
Yes, because there are curling gods up there.
Yeah. So here we are down the last end. That's the Northwest Territories in BC on sheet C. And that one didn't make it across, so that is out.
That is a bad miss for Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And now Alberta will just come out, take out the counter, and just keep the house clean.
See, this will make up for us not doing the first end of the Manitoba game when we were getting things all set up.
Yes, we just run into technical difficulties. And,
now we got all our cameras and cables in the right place, and
it's going to be a hit and take out. She doesn't want to hang around there. She wants to hit with it also. Great job.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Alberta.
That's the best thing when you got a lead. Keep that house clean.
Yes, it is.
Saskatchewan putting up another corner guard. Oh, almost the center, right on the center line. So they can get something to come into. Yeah, and Alberta wants to get red. They want to keep those guards out of there. Tony's doing city business now, so he's back. He's back on our clock again.
That was the real boss.
That was the real boss, your wife.
Yeah. You know what that's like.
Jeez. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes, sir. As they're trying to keep it clean, as Keith had said.
Got a tick. Oh, there's a miss.
There's a miss.
I hear. What's that here? I just hear that door opening.
A little bit, but
Just a little
the,
bit.
the steel too is it's because we're looking at the other sheets there. They've been stealing 3 and
Yeah.
2. And
Well, we Saskatchewan and Northern Ontario men last night. Northern Ontario was up 3, and they lost
it's
4 points.
That's when you know you're having a bad day.
That's what you know.
You know that. Oh, she just made the hog line, so now Alberta will try to take out some color, some guards here. Nose hit to take a couple off probably. What's BC? BC's line 1 on sheet C. There's that.
We have Brian Fisher looking after production today, and Brian has about 6 cameras on the go. And he's manning them all.
He's a one-man show, I'm telling you, never stops.
Yeah. Can't find his glasses, though, but...
Well, you have a couple extra pairs.
You can thank my wife for that one. We were having glasses being lost or misplaced, so I don't know what it's like in the Saskatchewan or Alberta homes, but I have about a half a dozen. Tony, you have, 10 pair at home somewhere around?
Yes, I don't.
No, I don't.
The boss. Yeah, don't worry. I know where they are, she said.
So before I left, she said, "You got your glass?" I said, "Yeah, I got a pair." She goes, "You should take an extra pair." Didn't know I had to take them for Brian, but it's all right. We'll have a scavenger hunt here later.
That's why it's called a team sport.
Team. It's all about the team.
That's right. There's no
on and
team.
Yeah, on and off the ice. So in the Northern Ontario, I want to keep going Northern Ontario. Northwest Territories, BC, we're getting down to 1 shot left for the Skips. So we'll see what transpires there. We'll keep you posted on that one. As well as this Saskatchewan-Alberta contest. And
BC is now calling a timeout. Saskatchewan has to start going into the house here now very shortly. I see she's trying to draw in now.
Last shot for the third. The mate.
Mate is Candace Newkirk.
Gets it in. Doesn't quite get it buried, though.
Oh, looks like it's wide open.
That's going to be easily... Oh, I shouldn't say... Nothing's easy in the 8th end.
No, not a thing.
It's open there a bit. But we all know sometimes...
The nerves.
Yeah.
Not laying a boom to it, so... She's close, I can tell by the look of it. Yeah, they're going to start sweeping it a little bit here. And a nose hit. And out. So, Saskatchewan, you have 2 rocks left and you're down 2. So they decided on sheet C to draw. This Skip Olson for British Columbia.
This is Skip's first stone. Saskatchewan. We have no brushes. Remember we talked about this earlier.
Yes, and that doesn't, it looks like it might go right through. This could be an early shake hands, but no.
Yeah,
it's going to hang around the back.
Yeah.
It's going to hang around the back. So a hit and stick or roll out, it doesn't matter, and that will shake. They'll be shaking hands.
Muse is not wasting any time. She knows what needs to be done. She's got a 2-point lead with hammer. So the end has gone according to the plan. Keep that house very clean.
So right now, and also on sheet C, the Northwest Territories are counting 1, and they're down. They have the hammer.
Yeah.
So she just wants to be in the open.
There's quite a few rocks in play.
And this is the last rock of the 8th end.
So we'll keep you posted on that.
She needs a piece,
How she makes out.
Piece of the 4 foot. And the last one for Team Alberta.
This is, yeah, their first.
Their first.
Yeah,
Okay.
first skipstone.
They're not laying a broom to it, so there they go. They're close to it.
Good hit.
And that'll be handshakes.
And that is it, because they've run out of rocks. So that score will finish 5-3.
Yes, it will end up being 5-3.
So Alberta ladies go to 2-0.
And this is the last rock for the Northwest Territories on sheet C also. And she needs a piece of the 4 foot to stay away from extra ends.
Well, the brooms are on it, which is a good sign, right?
Yeah.
And now they get off it.
Ooh.
Whoa, slow.
It has to stay with the 4 foot.
And
she does.
Whoa.
And she pulled it out. Head stop for her in time.
Yeah.
And that is the end of that game.
And she's holding her breath down there. Look at this. What? Wow, I don't see a hand. Give me the hand sign like it's good. So they win 9-7. Northwest Territories over BC. And Tony, since there's no other curling going on, that means we can now officially take a break.
Well, I also like to have my own pen.
Oh, wow.
So that's how.
Club, team,